Hi everyone, my name is Erin Frank and I'm going to be talking about the TikTok ban that happened from January 10th to the 19th in 2025. We're going to look at all the different types of communication and how it worked during this crazy time, and I will use a lot of ideas and concepts from our class readings to explain basically everything that happened. Let's dive in. So the first question is about formal versus informal communication. Government communication, it was really bad. The government communicated usually using written communication, basically like press releases, court papers, and official statements, but they did it like so wrong, and I feel like they hurt a lot of people in the process. First, there was a huge filtering happening. Basically, our reading says that it means like hiding or changing information to control how people react, and the government did this hugely. They weren't clear about when the ban would start, how long it would last, or exactly why it was happening. Officials kept giving different answers or no answers at all. This created what our readings call the illusion that communication has taken place when it really hadn't. People thought they were getting information, but they were really just getting confused. The government also had a major lack of source credibility. Our readings explain this happens when people don't trust the person sending the message. Basically, they know that if we receive information from one person and it is wrong that first time, over time we're just losing trust with that person over and over, and I feel like that's what the government had over time. We just didn't trust anything that was coming out in what they were releasing. Another big problem was their choice of communication channels. Our readings say written communication is good for facts, but it's really bad for emotional topics. The TikTok ban was super emotional because of the millions of users, and the government usually just used cold written statements. They needed information-rich channels like face-to-face videos and talks, and just where people could see real emotions and body language from real people. The government also created information overload, like in a bad way. They released tons of legal documents that were just hard to understand, and people weren't going to take all day reading this document, and even if they tried to read it, we probably wouldn't fully understand it. So yeah. The TikTok creators communication, it was way better. This represents what our readings call the grapevine, the informal network that spreads information. Our readings say that 70% of all organizational communication happens through the grapevine, and during the TikTok ban, this informal network was everything. Creators became the main source of information for millions of people who were reaching out and just trying to learn more about what was happening. Creators used nonverbal communication incredibly well. Our readings tell us that 55% of face-to-face communication comes from nonverbal stuff like facial expressions, tone of voice, body language, where you can just see real emotions, fear, anger, hurt, happiness even. You can just see that genuine emotion, and it just makes the users feel better. They also use verbal communication effectively. Unlike the government's written statements, creators talk directly to their audience. Our readings say verbal communication is way better for conveying feelings, and that's exactly what they did with that. But the formal communication had problems too. There was serious information overload, with thousands of creators making videos, memes spreading everywhere, and comment sections exploding. People couldn't keep up, and honestly, there was a lot of information that was backfiring and other information that was coming out. So it's kind of like, what do we believe at this point? It's hard to fully understand everything that you're seeing. The second question is just about this video, what I think about this video response, making this video response. I think it's nice to see my classmates' faces and hear their voices and kind of just get to know their personalities a little better. I think that's really cool. But I also see on the flip side that I had to read all the readings. I had to write it down, like process my thoughts, what I was going to say. And I feel like writing it down is just, I feel like making the video just adds a whole other step to this, when I'm not sure it's necessary to put out what we're thinking. I think I could watch my classmates' video and read what they have to say about this TikTok ban, and I would kind of get the same message. It's just the only pro through the video is that I get to see their face, obviously. So I kind of see the pros and cons, but I think it's nice because it's an online class, and yeah. Thank you.